Hey everyone, today I'm working on this 2015 Ram 3500. I'm going to be changing the fuel filters. Just got the 6.7 diesel in it. You go back to the back, go underneath the truck, and then go over. If you look up, your drive shaft's right here and your exhaust is right there. Right up in there you see your fuel filter. It's pretty easy to do a filter swap. This end right here, you can put a little hose on it and turn that little knob and it'll drain the fuel out. So you can see I got the 5/16 hose up there. I pushed it on the lip and I've got it in a pan. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this knob right here. Just keep going until it quits dripping out. So while it's draining out, you should be able to reach up here, push on the little clip right there, and pull that electrical connector out. Get it loose. Now that it's stopped draining, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this back up, screw it back on. Pull the hose off. Now you gotta get this filter off. Okay, so put your filter wrench up through there. Put the wiring in between it. Now the one I grabbed isn't big enough to go in the main case, so I'm just gonna grab it on the bottom here. That was super tight. So once you let the fuel drain out of the filter a little bit, go ahead and get it in some type of ice. You're probably going to get some fuel dripping more, but get it in the vise there and then get you a big wrench like this. And you could use a pair of pliers or something big. Try not to damage that sensor. Don't let it slip off there, but get it on the end. I'm doing this one-handed because I got the camera in the other hand. And go ahead and twist that off. Once you get the seal off there, you should be able to do it by hand. Now discard your old filter. Go to the new one. See that seal right there? Put that right there so it's not on the ground. Okay, you see the seal. You take your screwdriver. Pull that seal up off there. Just like that. Get you a rag. Wipe that dirt off. Get nice and clean all the way around. Alright, now that's clean, make sure your seal's clean. Go ahead and slide your new seal over. Of course, I'm doing it one-handed, so but you see how easy it went down on there. Now, while this is still mounted in here, take your new filter. And by the way, if you didn't already know, there's a part number for the wicks. But while it's up there, go ahead and take your new filter, slide it over. Just go slow to get it threaded on there right. I'm going to tighten it down until I feel like it's pretty snug. And you can see how loose I've got this in there. You want it tight enough to where it grips it, but you don't want it tight enough to where you're squeezing it, you know, trying to smash it in half or anything. There, that feels pretty tight. I can tell it's seated all the way down, so that's probably good to go. Now I'll go ahead and put the filter back on the truck. Whenever you get ready to put the filter on, the new one, just go up here, clean the surface, just make sure there's nothing on it. Put you a little bit of lube on the new gasket on the very top side there, and then just go ahead and screw it back in. Push up on it slightly as you're spinning it on, because it's got one of those ball check valves on it, and the threads are up on the shaft. So once you get it on there, you want to turn the filter all the way, and then once it touches, like once it touches the rubber seal up there, even if you look right here, you'll see it. Go ahead and turn it a third to half of a turn once it touches the mating surface. So right there it just touched, and right there is about half of a turn. Then go ahead and take your electrical connector and go ahead and reconnect it up here. Just like that. Make sure you hear it click, or else it's not going to be all the way in. Okay, I don't know if you heard it, but I heard it click. And there you just change your rear fuel filter and the water separator. Now take the drip pan and place it right under here, kind of like that. Now you can go ahead and turn this knob right here. You can normally do it by hand also. Just like that, and you can see the fuel coming out. You able to see that? Hopefully. Yeah, you can see the fuel coming out right there. Do a quick check underneath it to make sure that it's going in your pan, which it is. Now I'm using a 1 1/8 inch socket on there with a long extension and a swivel in. Take the cap off. You can see the fuel running down it also. Alright, so once you have the cap loose, go ahead and remove it. Quite a bit more fuel in there. I guess the suction was keeping it in there whenever the cap was on, so if you actually keep the valve open and then loosen up the cap a little bit, let some air in there, then it might start draining out, and then once you take the cap fully off, you can see it's still draining right there. But go ahead and just basically allow it to drain, get all that fuel out of there so that you have less fuel to deal with whenever you remove the filter. Now this filter here was really stuck in there. I had a hard time getting it loose. I finally got it loose by taking a pair of pliers to the top, wiggling a little bit, and then I was taking a little screwdriver on the side, and I was having to wedge it up from the side right here. And I put quite a bit of pressure on there, and then I finally got it to start moving. So I'll go ahead and close that off, pull the filter up. And then just pull the filter up however you think you might be able to fit it through on the other side of the master cylinder. But here's the filter. So then you want to come down here with a screwdriver and pull up on this O-ring, or a pick, or whatever you can. Pull up on the O-ring, remove it, clean the surface all the way around, because this one's really dirty. The backfill filter was dirty also, so you want to make sure that you clean it all the way around. Get all that debris off from there, all that dirt. Your new one should have came with a new O-ring, so go ahead and remove it. Just rub that O-ring all the way around, get it lubed up a little bit. Go ahead and place it down there, back around the filter housing. Make sure you get it seated all the way around in that bottom groove next to the base down there. Then you can look at your old filter and look at your new filter. Just make sure that it's the same heights basically. Looks the same. Go ahead and reinstall the filter now. I'm trying not to get the filter dirty. Whenever I tried to come up right here by the wiring harness, it was definitely hitting more. So, but you see how it just fell in there. Pretty easy to put back in. And just kind of give it a little push on it, and you can hear it pop down in there. Now you can take your cover, go ahead and place it back on. And remember, this gets torqued to 30.5 Newton meters. It's right there on the cap. Sometimes when you get replacement caps, they're not going to have the torque on the top of them. So I get it snug with a hand. You could hear my torque wrench clicking right there. I guess I'm going to go ahead and show y'all how to change the oil also. If you go underneath it, take you a 3/8 ratchet, and right here on the bottom of the oil pan, put your little ratchet head in there and pull that plug loose. A whole bunch of quartz is going to come out of here, and it's going to start coming out pretty quick, and it's going to hit this pan and splatter everywhere. So it's best if you get this pan up as close as you can whenever you're trying to drain the oil out. So I went ahead and decided to just lift it up a little bit more, use my oil pan to get it out so that I can try to keep it splashing it everywhere. Go ahead and pull that plug out and watch all that massive amount of oil come out. So once it comes to a really slow drip, or you think most of it is drained out and you're satisfied, go ahead and reinstall the plug. Alright, so if you come up the passenger side and you look right in there, you see the oil filter. Now, this one, pretty much hard to not get all over the place. It has a little drain hole right there. So I've got my drain dolly over here. I've got it underneath the drain hole. But you want to get a filter wrench up in there. Now, I normally just use one of these style filter wrenches. It expands. I'm able to get the ratchet on there from this side and just slowly ratchet it off. So reach that ratchet up in there, and you probably have to get your hand up in there also until you get this able to be tightened up and get that filter off. Well, I didn't even use the wrench. I went up in there and I was able to pop it loose with my hand. It's kind of surprising with how tight the fuel filters were. Sometimes you get lucky and it just comes out. If not, you'll have to use the oil filter wrench and spin it off there. Once you get it spun off, it's really hard to control it right here, but you basically just got to go off to the side and come out right here on the end, and you should see the oil. You can see the oil going right there out the drain pan. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see the drip right there. Just bring it through this side. And that's the oil filter. So then you want to take some fresh oil, lube up your seal all the way around. Of course, I'm doing it with one hand, so it's kind of hard, but there you can see you got some lube all the way around it, nice and shiny. But once you get the filter ready to go back in, just reverse order, kind of just slide it in there, get it up to that plate and screw it on there. Once you get it all the way up to the top, I'll show you right here, even on the bottle, where it says do 3/4 of a turn once it touches the surface, and then fill your engine up with oil. Oh, and I forgot to say that whenever you put that filter up in there, make sure that you clean the contact surface up there on the filter housing, and then go ahead and screw your new filter in. So now it's time to go ahead and fill up with oil. Make sure you check your dipstick for the correct level of oil. So before you jump in and try to drive off or start it up, since you changed some fuel filters out, you need to bleed the fuel system. So go ahead and turn on your ignition. This one's got a push button, so I'll turn it on. I'm not going to put my foot on the brake or the gas. And I'm going to turn on the ignition and just I can hear the fuel pump back there running, so I'm going to let it sit there and run. Alright, so now I'm going to cycle it, turn it off, turn it back on again, the ignition only. Okay, now it happened real quick. Turn it off, turn it on. I do this like 4 or 5 times at least. Okay, so now I'm going to also go ahead and turn it to the run position, and let's go through this and go down to service. Let's see, vehicle info. Let's see, go to the right. Okay, see where it said oil life? Press the right button, press it to reset it, it'll say confirm. Press the down button to move the cancel to OK, and then press the right button to confirm, and you see it went there. Then go on to the fuel filter and do the same thing. Press the right one, press down to move this to the down position, and then press the arrow button to confirm. There we go, fuel filter is confirmed now. Oil's confirmed. Alright, now we're pretty much done with the service. Now that we've primed the system, it should start up. So let's go ahead and try it. Hold the brake and press to start. And it started.
And that's how you change out 3 filters on a Ram pickup. And so, like it, share it, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! What exactly are we doing, man?
We're doing a timing set on this 3.5 EcoBoost. You gotta pull it all the way down. The timing covers gotta come off. The valve covers have gotta come off. We've already taken off the intake and the coils and the fuel system, or partially fuel system, all the pulleys, the hoses, everything. It's taken quite a bit of time, but not videoing this one at all. We were just showing everyone working on it.